Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rafael Villarán. I'm one of the class marshals of the class of 2017. I am very grateful to have the opportunity to introduce the president of the Harvard Law School Alumni Association, which is the entity that connects HLS with its alumni. But before I do so, I would like to briefly reflect on what becoming an HLS alum means to me. When I decided to attend HLS, I knew that this opportunity would give me access to incredible resources, amazing faculty, stimulating classes. What I didn't know is that all this would pale in comparison to the insights I would learn from hearing the experiences of all my classmates, which I'm very glad to now call friends. Today, I can say I am more conscious about the fact that being at HLS is a privilege. But what we do with that privilege after we leave the law school, the way in which we become change agents, how we stand up and fight for the causes that we really believe in, and how we leverage our diplomas as tools of positive change, transformation, and support to others in a less advantaged position or who are treated unequally. I think and I believe that is what becoming an HLS alum really means. And I wish you all the best and the courage necessary to take that stand. Now, please let me introduce Peter C. Krause, President of the Harvard Law School Alumni Association. Mr. Krause graduated with highest honors from Manhattan College. He served in the United States Army, and he obtained his JD from Harvard Law School in 1974. After law school, he practiced law in Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen, and Hamilton. He was a member of the investment committee of Morgan Stanley's real estate funds, and he served as managing director of Greenhill & Co., among other positions. He also served in the HLS Dean Advisory Board under 3 different deans, and as national co-chair of the Harvard College Parents Fund. Please welcome Mr. Krause.
Thank you, Rafael. Very gracious. Very gracious. Thank you, Rafael. It is hard to believe, but it was 43 years ago that I sat out there with my parents getting my degree, so congratulations to all of you. Well, good afternoon. A little tepid. I've heard such wonderful, enthusiastic things about 2017, so I'll give you a mulligan. Let's try again. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. You've restored my faith in the bicentennial class here. Well, much congratulations. You graduates are entering what I believe is one of the most prestigious organizations in the world, the Harvard Law School Association, representing all the 38,000, soon to become 38,500 living alumni of the law school. It's a great honor, and it's a privilege to serve you as your president. I got a very bittersweet phone call a few months ago. As Rafael said, it's been my pleasure to serve on the Dean's Advisory Board for 20 years under Bob Clark, Elena Kagan, and for the last 8 years under Martha Minow. And Martha was calling my home on a weekend, which was a little unusual, and she said, Peter, I just walked out of President Drew Faust's office, and she's going to be putting out a press release in a day or two that I'm retiring as Dean of the Law School. I said, Martha, you're breaking my heart. We were going to celebrate the bicentennial together in the fall. You're a great dean. I love working for you. Why are you doing that? And she says, the students. Her answer was the students. She said, I want to teach, and I want to write, and I miss the students. So it was my pleasure to just chair the reunion last month, and it was Martha's last reunion as dean. She's going to stay on the faculty, and thank God we'll have her teaching. 2 of my students have JDs from Harvard Law School, Christina, class of '09, and Peter Krause Jr., Peter Jr., class of 2012. So I asked them to write an introduction when I was introducing the dean last month at the last reunion she would be running as dean. And I thought my kids would write a long speech, and they came up with just 3 words. They said, Dad, you always talk too much. We're going to just do a 3-word summary of the dean as you salute her for her last reunion as dean. The 3 words Christina and Peter Jr. came up with describing Dean Martha were scholarship, leadership, and compassion. So how about a standing ovation for the wonderful woman who for 8 years has risen this law school up so tremendously. I'm going to miss her with all my heart. She's fabulous. And now, well, you know why I said that phone call from Martha was bittersweet. I know all of you have had some great professors, and you're going to go through your career with certainly one or two that stood out. I'm going to tell you about the one who stood out for me, Professor David Hurwitz. I had some fabulous professors, took all the big names for my 3 years. I was here 71 to 74. But if you said to me, who affected you the most, I ended up in investment banking and private equity, and he taught me business planning. And it wasn't just Professor David Hurwitz's teaching me accounting and finance and corporate governance and creditors' rights, all the subject matters he covered, but it was the intangible qualities he symbolized. And in my mind, as I watched him that year teaching and following his career, I came up with 3 rules of sort of behavior, how I wanted to emulate Professor Hurwitz. And I hope you all get a professor and you can emulate too. I'll come up with the 3 rules, total of 6 words. But this is what Professor Hurwitz did for me, and maybe some of this will stick with some of you, and you can use it. Be early. Be prepared. And be excellent. So I've used those 6 words, 3 rules, as I've gone through my 43-year career on Wall Street. And it all comes from Professor Hurwitz, and I hope some of that helps you as it helped me. Well, welcome graduates to the Harvard Law School Alumni Association. This is our bicentennial year, and we're having 2 big programs in September and October on campus. I hope some of you come back as alumni. Our motto is stay connected. We're running over 100 panels and programs through our clubs and shared interest groups. As Martha said, I just came back from a week in Israel dealing with Harvard Law School graduates or leaders in Israel. And I'm heading next week to run programs in Seoul and Hong Kong for the Law School Alumni Association. So, summing up, my favorite rock group was Journey. I think somebody probably knows Steve Perry, the lead singer. And I'm going to borrow one of their lyrics as I'll salute you. Don't stop believing in yourselves. Hold on to that feeling. And as you go through your careers, as I've tried to, follow your heart. And may you have challenging, happy, and very fulfilling lives and careers. God bless all of you.